This is on Queen Street right here, and it has just come up right to the side of these homes where these families had to leave their residences. And what happened was a crack came through their foundation. One of the tenants told me that he has only been able to shower 6 times in the last 60 days, and not even the clothes on their back, which got ruined in this. I'm just going to turn the camera a little bit so I can show you. This is the other half of their living room where Marika and her children went to escape. Why don't you take a look at the ground right here? This right here is complete ice and slush, and it has been gathering on the roads of the city. Some still behind me, you can see the flags and the signs still waving. Had she been only a few feet to the left, this tree that took out her house could have taken her life as well. It's been a chore to maintain. If you're taking a walk in Steelton, you'll probably notice most neighborhoods look normal. However, residents have been complaining about a brand new neighbor, PennDOT. They're still finding more. In Lancaster County, I'm Sarah Burns, CBS 21 News. This house is just, the stench that was coming from it was unbearable. You can see it's been boarded up. A water main on Queen Street suffered a break, and while crews were repairing that water main break, they found a massive, looks like 20 or 30 foot sinkhole. I'm just going to turn this camera so you can see what we're coming up on. This sinkhole, incredibly deep. You can see they're actually filling it up right now. And the residents on this street have had to have been evacuated because they're actually finding cracks in the walls of their home and their basement where the cars enter. They put up a cone and everything to, try and warn people to not turn so close to the side of the hill. But I'm just going to show you. You can see this right here. Look at these. There are nails still in the grass. I'm going to pick them up for them from when they were tossed here over the weekends during their Small Business Saturday. I'm just going to show you what they have been showing me all afternoon. This is their living room. You can see just how high that flood line is. That's about, I would say, 3 or 4 feet. That is above waist level there for most people. There are people standing outside, so I'm just gonna pull up here. You can already see these people. You see all of these branches in the road, and people are driving by. It's covering their cars. It's absolutely just chaos here. So if you are on the Market Street area, and there's a massive tree right up here on my left, that is an entire tree that has been uprooted directly from the ground. I'm just driving over branches here. So these branches are something that I've been seeing not only on Market Street, but all throughout the area. Yeah, Jasmine, a lot of emotions today when I spoke with them. One of the tenants told me that he has only been able to shower 6 times in the last 60 days, and he's had to go to a local health facility in Camp Hill just to continue to do that. And all of the tenants, agreed in telling me that this is something that, should have never even gotten to this point. Take a listen.
Why did the situation develop to this point? Why did the situation develop to this point? It's their responsibility to maintain and have protocols in the building to maintain the infrastructure of the building.
Deborah, a tenant in the Harmony Towers, has been advocating for her neighbors. The non-tax community has a large population of elderly and disabled, and most of them have turned to her to be their voice.
I haven't had sufficient hot water before Christmas. I'm 80 years old. And I had another one call me and say, too, that he hasn't had it for almost 2 years.
The Harrisburg Codes Department says Lind, the property's owners, have filed documentation to show they have a solution. However, that solution is a specially ordered part with no ETA of when it'll be installed.
It doesn't take this long to get order parts. You know what I mean? I'm sick of taking cold showers.
I reached out to Lind for a response, but was immediately sent to voicemail.
Thank you for calling the Lane Company. Your call is very important to us.
I run the water for a half hour, an hour, and then I shut it off. At best, it's lukewarm.
We just want to get hot water back in our building. These people deserve it. They're human beings.
And Lynn sent a letter to residents saying that a city codes administrator in Harrisburg is going to be receiving updates about that part. And I reached out earlier today to the city codes to try and find out what that update would be, but I have not heard back. In Harrisburg, I'm Sarah Burns, CBS 21 News. Yeah, so you can actually see they have finished clearing up this sinkhole here. It's been completely full. The asphalt has also actually been laid. But what's been most concerning is the fact that the people who live in the homes right here, this is on Queen Street, the sinkhole came right up to the side of their homes, and actually the foundation and the walls of their homes have cracked. And it all started because of water that was flooding into their basements from underneath. So take a listen.
That same day they got the water out, we started seeing cracks and stuff in the wall. We're like, what is going on? Well, here the foundation is starting to give out because how saturated the ground is. And so now the whole entire building is getting ready to collapse.
What started as a water main break repair on Queen Street yesterday has now turned into a nightmare. A sewer collapsed underground Tuesday, leading to the discovery of a massive sinkhole. 2 families have now been forced out of their homes.
This is all I have. This is it. This is what I'm wearing. This is 3 days. I'm ready to change. I'm a single father. I got 2 kids. And it's just me and the 2 kids. And that's what we got. Everything that we own is in that house.
Crews have been working throughout the day to fill the sinkhole, but the fate of the already affected homes is unknown. Suffering cracks in the foundation, they've been given no timeline of if or when they'll be allowed back inside. The homeowners say the borough needs to take responsibility.
We've been knowing about this sewer and stuff now for months. We've watched them come out, go down that sewer hole, and everybody kept asking what they were checking on. They would always say nothing.
And we have reached out to the Shippensburg Borough Manager multiple times for clarification, but have not heard back yet. And the most important things that these homeowners told me was that they were able to, if they're going to be able to, is to get the valuables that they adore out of their homes. So I'll send it back to you in the studio now, but live in Shippensburg, I'm Sarah Burns, CBS 21 News. I want you to imagine the unthinkable. You're sitting at home when suddenly floodwaters 5 feet high come rushing through your living room. That was the case for a Harrisburg family last night who was unable to save anything in their apartment and lost everything, even the clothing for their 2- and 3-year-old children.
My first instinct was, we have to get out. We have to get our kids out of here.
A glass door was the only thing separating Marika and her family from waist-deep floodwaters until it cracked under pressure, bringing the outside in.
I literally grabbed my kids. I had one in my arm, one on my hand, and by the time we got to the front door, the glass broke, the water rushed through, and by the time I looked back at him, the door slammed and we were split up.
Marika's boyfriend became trapped inside. Unable to get out the front door, he swam to their bedroom window, his only hope.
I was scared that like something had pushed him over, just with how forceful the water was. I was just scared like something was on top of him.
Once Marika got her kids to safety, she ran around the side of the building to find her boyfriend still trapped inside.
And I started banging on our bedroom window door, and that's when I heard him that he was trying to come out. I told him, like, break the window, break the window.
All 4 managed to escape last night, but have been left with nothing but the clothes on their back. It took the floodwater several hours to drain from the complex, majority of the other basement apartments suffering the same fate, tenants lucky to be alive. Though the flood destroyed everything the family owned, it's Marika's spirit that's been left unbroken.
But I just know that there's something greater coming and that everything's just going to sort itself out.
Marika says the apartment has not spoken with them yet and won't be coming to evaluate the damage until tomorrow. In Harrisburg, I'm Sarah Burns, CBS 21 News. Old drywall nails and rusty screws still being picked up from the side of the property. The owner tells me there have been 5 more incidents since August of this year, and they're not alone.
One of the local postmasters was having trouble delivering the mail and getting to the mailboxes because of nails that were thrown up and down the highway. She spent several days picking those nails up so that she was able to deliver.
Just down the street, the Noble Road Holiday Light Show said they've had nails repeatedly thrown on their driveway. They told CBS 21 they first found nails in October, but since then it's happened again. Customers and employees at Britton Hill are now using extra caution when entering and leaving the business.
Wonky on the way home. By the time I got home, it was losing air pretty good. My husband checked it. By the next morning, my tire was completely flat. I took it to our neighborhood garage, which he found a 4-inch drywall screw stuck in my tire.
The venue has set up cameras outside of their facility and contacted police. All they want is for this to end.
It's a random variety of nails, anywhere from roofing nails to drywall screws to stuff that's used in a nail gun.
And the owners told me every time that they come out here, they're still finding more. In Lancaster County, I'm Sarah Burns, CBS 21 News. Activists showed up in the dozens today. Some still behind me. You can see the flags and the signs still waving. And I spoke with one of the leaders from the Harrisburg Palestine Coalition who said this ceasefire is just the beginning.
When we fight, we win! When we fight, we win! When we fight, we win!
15 months after the start of the war, the skies above Gaza and Israel fell silent Sunday. Over the next 6 weeks, 33 Israeli hostages and 2,000 Palestinian prisoners are set to be released.
All of us in the Jewish community have been yearning for the safe return of as many of those hostages as possible. We have been yearning for an end to hostilities for those innocents in Gaza.
Though hostilities overseas have paused, the social pushback between those rallying for Palestine and Israel locally have left its bruises.
That chose no longer to wear a Star of David. If they perhaps wore a yarmulke or a kippah, they chose to stop doing that because they feared for their physical safety.
However, Kiesling says that's not the case.
I have never felt more accepted as a Jew as I have by my Palestinian comrades who go out of their way to welcome me into this movement.
Those who are in charge in Gaza don't want peace. They ultimately, and it's in their charter, what they yearn for, while we yearn for life, the return of hostages, and the end to suffering and hostilities, they are yearning for an end to the state of Israel.
Despite a ceasefire, the Harrisburg Palestine Coalition said the real reason to keep protesting lies with how the United States is choosing to distribute funds overseas.
We need an arms embargo, we need to cut off the money, and we're here to continue to spread that message.
In Lancaster, I'm Sarah Burns, CBS 21 News.